Hello, hope you're having a great day. Long time no speak. Apologies for that. Massive shout out and a thanks to everyone who has been in touch to ask if I'm okay. I'm absolutely fine. I'm still failing at certain things in my life, in particular, getting up on time at 7:30. I've sort of got into a habit now of getting up a bit later. It's not such a big deal in the summer because it's, light for later. So I still am able to get around to the garage and do what I need to. But not making any excuses. I'm not going to start pretending that I don't have a desire to become a more of a morning person. But one thing that has become an everyday thing now is that my morning routine only takes me an hour and 5 minutes. So, I'm losing time in the morning by failing to get up, but I'm gaining a lot of time just because I've now made it the norm to get through my full morning routine every morning within an hour and 5 minutes. And yet I'm still in the best shape of my life. Now I keep planning to make videos for this channel. I still want to keep making videos for this channel, even though I've kind of decided not to strictly make a vlog every day, just because I think it's unrealistic. I think it's not that helpful to the world, if I'm honest, if I keep making these repeated videos. And I sort of got to a conclusion where, if the only way I can stay on track myself is by making these videos, that's not good enough. In the same way that now, just not taking drugs isn't good enough. I need to be better. I need to be able to stay on track every day without just these videos keeping me on track. And ultimately, I think if people stop watching these videos just because they are repetitive, because I'm doing the same things pretty much every day, then that's going to make the videos less beneficial to the world anyway. And I've got to be honest as well, part of it is that I don't think there's enough people, enough of the type of people watching this channel who are the kind of people who could benefit from it. A lot of the messages I get from people are people making excuses why they can't live a life like I am, where I'm focusing on my health and fitness every day, where I am refraining from doing degenerative things like drinking alcohol, taking drugs, smoking every day. Now, I'm not here to preach to anyone. If you want to go and live an unhealthy life, then go and do whatever makes you happy. But a lot of the messages I'm getting from people are from people that have got a little bit of a desire inside them to improve their lives. But then I sort of offer advice, and then it's but this, but a simple example would be, someone who talks about maybe losing weight, and I say, well, what are you drinking every day? The first thing I sort of started doing years and years ago, before I even really took my health seriously, whilst I was still deep in addiction, one of the things I started doing was drinking water all day, every day, instead of drinking Coke. And, when you say that to some people, just start drinking water all day, every day. Oh, no, I don't like water. So what? Our water hasn't got any taste. So what? Like, if you're gonna not do what you need to do based on the taste, based on how it makes you feel, based on some psychological, mental reason, Coca-Cola tastes better, so I'm gonna drink 6 bottles of that every day, then yeah, you're not the kind of person that's gonna benefit from listening to me, man, because the fact that water doesn't taste very nice isn't a good enough excuse. I don't want to have a cold shower every day because it's uncomfortable. So what? That's like me saying, I don't want to stop taking drugs because taking drugs is more fun. So yeah, there's a lot of that. I feel that, it's not benefiting people by me making videos every day. But, I've sort of got myself into a situation recently where, I think, yeah, I'm going to make this video on X subject, and then life just gets in the way, because I am one of them people that I need to be either, all or nothing, right? So for instance, with these vlogs, it's quite easy for me to get into the habit of not making any videos for this channel unless I'm making them every day. So, I've never been the kind of person that finds the middle ground of anything, like with drinking and taking drugs, for instance. I'm not the kind of person that can just live the rest of my life and only get wasted on a Saturday. I can't do that. I'm either going to eventually end up getting wasted every day on something or other, whether it be alcohol, whether it be weed, whether it be cocaine, or I need to be someone that just abstains from anything like that. And the better of those two scenarios is me living the teetotal life. So, in terms of the videos, it's quite hard for me to sort of just put a video out every now and again. Yeah, because I just never get around to it. And I'm sitting here now editing the next video on the other channel, the channel that follows me with my cars and stuff. And, I just had this idea come into my head and I thought, you know what, like if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. So I didn't even bother getting up to check if I've got any power in the GoPro batteries. I'm just filming this on my phone. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about is the concept and the idea of people thinking, and I'm one of them, that, life isn't fair, right? Do you have this thought in your mind that tells you that life isn't fair, that life's a bit easier for other people, that you're getting an unfair crack of the whip at life, because this is a thought that I used to have a lot. I still do. It's just that I look at it in a different way. Do you just think that it's hopeless? No matter how hard you're going to try, you're always going to be behind where you want to be, behind other people. Does your mind tell you that it's basically not even worth you trying? You need to stay in your own lane, accept that life's harder for you. Look at where you would like to be as something that's unachievable. Do you have those thoughts? And I think everyone does, right? It's just that nowadays I don't buy into this view that the world's unfair. I don't buy into this view that bad things happen to good people. I don't believe that. I believe the world is very fair. I take responsibility for where I'm at, because ultimately you can only change and improve things that you take responsibility for. If something can't be changed, then you're not going to set about trying to change it. If you think the world's unfair, if you think that you're not going to improve your life or get to where you want to be, or get on the way to where you want to be, if you think that it's impossible to get to where you want to be, then you're not even going to try, are you? You need to believe that life is fair to make life a bit fairer, if that makes any sense. And look, the system we live in wants you to believe that, you can't sort of get out of certain ruts that you're in. The whole sort of capitalist society runs on people being stuck in a rut. If every single person out there believed that they could find a way out of their job that they might hate, because let's face it, most people that have got a sort of low paid or average paid job, most people that aren't rich, do hate their jobs. They might sort of persuade themselves that it's not too bad as a cope, but ultimately most people don't particularly like their job. Now, if everybody all of a sudden started finding a way out of their jobs that they hate, then, well, the society we live in, capitalism, wouldn't survive, would it? All these rich people that rely on people believing that they're lucky to get what they've got, even though what they've got isn't what they want. Those rich people wouldn't be benefiting, would they, from all these people getting out of the ruts that they're in terms of their job. This whole idea that it's a great idea for everyone to own their own home is another rut that this system and capitalism gets people into. How many people out there realistically are, in mortgages that they can't afford? Now, I know that you can sort of use the cope of, oh, but my mortgage is less than it would cost to rent, as a sort of an excuse to persuade yourself that, yeah, you prefer to own your own home. There's ideas like, oh, well, if I buy my home, at least I own it, then I can pass it down to my children, blah, blah, blah. It's an investment, it's an asset, when in reality, you owning your own home keeps you stuck in that job that you hate. It keeps you stuck in one location. Yes, you can pass it down as an asset to your children, but the government are still going to heavily tax it. And ultimately, yeah, a lot of people's mortgage, I don't own my own home. I live in a home that my girlfriend owns, right? Yeah, mortgages probably are cheaper than rent, but to get that mortgage, what have you got to save up nowadays? 50, 60, 70 grand? All that money that you've saved up over all them years, imagine you put that into a business, you could turn that into millions. The fact that if anything goes wrong in your home, you've got to pay for it, rather than if you're renting somewhere, they're obliged to sort of have your home as livable. When you add it all up, the interest that you're paying on your mortgage, right? If your mortgage is 300 grand or whatever your house costs, how much are you actually paying for that house? Borrowing all that money over 25 or 35 or more years nowadays, don't you think that the interest on that is going to be hundreds of thousands of pounds? Because I bet it is. The other thing as well, people are like, oh, I bought my home and over X amount of years, it's gone up X amount in value. No, it hasn't. It hasn't at all. It's still worth one house. You bought your house for X amount, which was the price for one house, and now it's worth X amount, a larger number, which is still one house. It's what one house costs. Unless you're going to sell it and move to a really deprived area, or sell it and move to a very smaller property, or sell it and go and live in a cardboard box, then you're not really going to see that profit, are you? It's the same with the classic cars and stuff. I've got a few classic cars. Unless I was realistically going to sell those classic cars and then not go and buy another one, I'm well into Ford Escorts from the 70s, right? So if I wanted to sell my Escorts from the 70s, unless I wasn't going to go and buy another one, then it's irrelevant how much they cost. I wish they were worth £2 each, because then no one would want to steal them off me, and then I'd be able to buy even more of them, because I am genuinely interested in Ford Escorts from the 70s, right? So, a lot of these sort of ideas about, how much your house value has increased, about how your house is an asset, these are just reasons that the system uses to persuade people to get into a lifelong debt that they can't afford, which is then going to trap them in the place where they're living that they might not particularly like, and ultimately trap them in a job that they don't particularly like, ultimately trap them into slavery. But, again, we live in a society where, the system tries to persuade us that we're like sort of lucky to be in the situation we're in. It tries to make us look at rich people and, how people are living as, beyond our means, beyond what we deserve, beyond what's achievable. And the only way you're going to sort of get out of that thought process of believing that life's harder for you, that where you're at can't be, improved. The only way you're going to sort of start believing that you can get out of the rut you're in is by believing that life is fair and that the rut you're in is your fault. And that's the way I live on a daily basis, and it works both ways, right? In positive and negative, right? So, for instance, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not rich. I don't have everything, materialistic things that I want, and ultimately, how many hundreds of thousands of pounds have I wasted in my life by being a degenerate, by going out and, wasting my money on, basically seeking pleasure and living a weak life. How much money have I wasted over the years? How much time have I wasted over the years, that I could have spent, focusing on turning myself into a stronger human being like I do nowadays, maybe focusing on business, focusing on leaning into discomfort, focusing on learning and, trying to become a better man. Well, I didn't, did I? So the fact that I'm pretty poor, is down to me. But then on the other hand, the fact that I am now no longer imprisoned by drug addiction, the fact that I am now no longer, working in a job that I hate, the fact that I am now physically, mentally, spiritually in the best shape of my life is also down to me. That's also my responsibility. I am where I'm at in terms of positive or negative descriptions of where I'm at because of me, because life is fair, because karma is real, because I do deserve to be where I'm at. I deserve to be where I'm at. I don't deserve to be in a better place than I'm at, and I don't deserve to be in a worse place that I'm at. Life is very fair, and I deserve to be where I'm at. If I do continue to improve myself physically, mentally, spiritually, if I do continue to try and, learn about business, learn about health, learn about life, learn about, being a better man, then, I will deserve my life to continually improve. If I continue to live a relatively healthy life, then yeah, I will deserve to live longer. But at the same time, if I die tomorrow of a heart attack because of how I've previously lived my life as an unhealthy degenerate, then that would be deserved as well. Life is very fair. Now, there was a bit of a hoo-ha in the comments of a video on this channel before when I simply stated that those people that live an unhealthy life, that smoke every day, that eat crap, that drink alcohol, deserve to die early. I stand by it. they do deserve to die early. In the same way that if I carried on living my degenerate life, sniffing cocaine and wasting all my money and eating crap and drinking alcohol and smoking, then yeah, I would deserve to die early. If I die tomorrow of a heart attack, that would be deserved because of how I've lived my life previously. And the only people that get offended by that sort of thing are people that are living an unhealthy life, because ultimately, if you're saying that people that live an unhealthy life don't deserve to die early, what you're actually saying is that people that live a really healthy life and live how they should and give their body all the nutrients that they need and don't put any toxins in, you're saying that them people deserve to die early. So, it just goes to show how selfish unhealthy people are, and people that are stuck in their rut and people that believe they can't get out of their rut, like crabs in a bucket. They'd rather drag everyone else into that rut rather than trying to lift themselves out of it. So as I say, I was just sitting here editing this video, and there's never a good time to upload videos to this channel because I've sort of decided not to just religiously do them every day. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to stop editing that video. If that video goes out late today, then so be it. It's about time I put a video out on this On Track channel. And yeah, that was just what was going through my mind. My mind, on a daily basis tries to persuade me that life isn't fair, that it's not worth me keep trying to improve myself. I'm just one of them people that's unlucky, one of those people that's always going to be stuck in a rut. And I just know, and I'm grateful that I know that kind of mentality is what keeps people in a rut. That kind of mentality, if I succumb to it, is what's going to keep me from improving myself. So, I have to see those thoughts in my mind and those opinions in other people as utter bollocks, because they are. You can do anything you want to as long as you put the work in and as long as you believe hard enough. And if you don't believe, then just stay in your rut. Like, if you think that, everything I'm saying is a load of bollocks, then that's absolutely fine, man, because ultimately the only person I care about is myself. Yes, I'm grateful that, a lot of people out there seem to be inspired by what I'm doing, whether it be on this channel, whether it be just the fact that I'm living clean nowadays, or whether it be, watching videos on the other channel of me messing around on my cars. And do you know what? It really does make me feel good when I get positive messages from people. Like, it makes me feel like, yeah, there's some little purpose of my life. But ultimately, it only stems from me knowing that I am the most important person in my life. You can't, bang people's head against the wall and change their mind. No, all you can do is live true to yourself and let other people see that truth and potentially improve what they're doing. So look, apologies that these videos are so few and far between. I will strive to, in future, just make videos whenever a thought comes into my mind, like I have this time. And yeah, for any of you guys that have watched all the way to the end of this video, massive thanks for watching. And I hope whatever journeys you guys are on in terms of improving your life is going well. It will be going as well as the effort you're putting into it, of course. But yeah, I need to get back to editing the video on the other channel. So for now, that's all from me, and I'll speak to you next time.